Wait, I forgot my name.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it all again. Welcome to the Whine Show! Artist Attention! Take two! Snap! Look at us go. We had a couple technical errors, but we're back, and we're going to kind of start over because we're only about 3 minutes in. We want everybody to see it. So, we are the Artist Edition of the Whine Show. We are teaching America how to civilly disagree one conversation at a time. I have a great guest, a panel of guest artists here today, musicians and visual artists. I'm going to have them introduce themselves. I'm going to tell you our topic. Our topic today is it okay, or are you okay with having 2 years of mandatory military service out of high school? So once you hit 18, you come out of high school, 2 years mandatory military service from there. I know where I stand on it, but I'm going to go through our guests real quick, let them reintroduce themselves, and we're going to get back into this discussion. Go ahead.
Hey, my name is Slap Happy Drew. You can find me on Facebook under Happy Comics, or you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram, all under Slap Happy Drew. I am just a cartoonist. I hope to work for a cartooning studio someday. As of right now, I make personal comics, animated reviews, and just a lot of fan art, I guess. These are a couple pieces I did, a Rick and Morty piece and a Pikachu piece. And yeah, if you want to stay up to date, just give me a follow, and yeah, look forward to stuff.
Awesome.
My name's Tyler Harris. I'm a pianist. I've been probably doing that for about 12 years. Like I said before, as a starving artist, I call myself an artist, but starving artist also kind of unemployed.
We all start at one point.
Right, there's always that beginning process. But I'm gonna be playing for y'all pretty soon here, and I hope you really enjoy it, guys.
Awesome. We find you on Facebook?
Facebook, Tyler Harris. Instagram, Harris+1. That's new number one. I'm engaged. I have a fiance, my lovely wife-to-be. Her name's Lyric Holler. She's a singer, by the way. You should follow her as well.
Yeah. We should have her on the show, you know?
Yeah.
Or an open mic or any other place we have.
Something.
Awesome. Rhonda, please, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Rhonda Kitts, and my website is rhondakitts.com. And I own a magazine in the Woodlands, Life on the Green, but my real passion is healing, the healing arts, and my art is up here, these 3 pieces, and I've used art to help myself heal as part of my journey through depression and anxiety. And now I help other people. I'm a Reiki master, and I do mind, body, energy, body healing. And that's what I do. And so I'm going to have a little bit of a healing perspective.
All right, awesome. Thanks for coming out. Ray, please.
Ray Dunlap. You can find me on Dunlapian and Instagram. I'm working on series Liberty and the Last Americano. So I'm an Apache princess that fell in love with the Buffalo Soldier and the American Army.
That's it back there.
These 2 pieces here.
Standing right in front of
and
us.
since it happened out in Fort Davis, I actually went out there for Chinati weekend and had them married like in a Mormon celestial type style in real life. And also, I live by the Neil, and I have another one. 1755 Colquitt is a gallery I started. Once a month I have a art show there.
Awesome. I'm going to participate in one of those shows.
Oh, yeah,
like I said, I would love to. That'd be awesome. I love the whole area you're in over there. Like you guys know me, I'm Chris Minamyer. I'm the art half of Text Music and Art. You can find me at Chris Minamyer at anything social media, or you can find us at anything social media at Text Music and Art. Also at textmusicandart.com. And the Whine Show. If you have never tuned in, thank you for tuning in. If you tune in tomorrow, we'll have the original edition of the Whine Show. This is the Artist Edition. We're going to step into our conversation. Our conversation is, we're talking about 2 years mandatory service out of the military, or out of high school. At 18, you go 2 years of mandatory military service. They proposed a bill, on the Democratic side, proposed a bill to do 1 to 2 years of mandatory service. So it's a real thing, and that's why we're talking about it. That's what we do. We try to bring America together one conversation at a time. We're going to start with you and kind of give us your overall opinion for or nay, and kind of a little bit why.
Alright, well, just at the get-go, I'm against it. I don't know the full benefits of going for the military in that bill. You know, I'm sure they get free college or something like that, you know, after attending for the 2 years or such like that. But I feel like if their families or themselves are against, say, said leadership you know, and they don't want to go out there, and we get into a situation where we have to deploy as many soldiers as possible. And that's also another thing. We're, the second or the most technologically advanced, right, military on the planet. Are we really
China,
at a
right?
What was it?
Us in China.
Us in China.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking of China.
Germany.
Somebody.
But one of them's up there with us. Russia, maybe. I don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Are we at a point where we need to have reserves of military soldiers, constantly? But that's just kind of
that's a good point. That's a good point. And we're gonna move on. And I appreciate your feedback here. We'll move on to yours to get the whole room's consensus here.
Yeah. He's making me want to say something to rebuttal to that already, but
well, trust me.
I'm sure we'll get to that. I was on the fence about it. We kind of talked about it before the show started. I've been trying to, put my personal opinion together. I'm still on the fence about it. It's just more of that thin line of 2 years versus however many years. Maybe like a minimum of 1. Like I see at some point like maybe 2, or like if they even increase that to more, it's like at that point you're putting those citizens away from their own families for so long. You're being forced to do that. At the same time, that also depends on the situation. We have rising tensions. We have North Korea every day saying what they're always saying. One day, who knows, it's actually going to happen.
Good. There you go.
Yeah.
There's a meter for that, right?
The North Korea
pissed off.
North Korea pissed off
clock. Yeah, the doomsday clock. Rhonda, give us your opinion.
The Mercury's rising.
The Mercury.
So my perspective is going to be from a healing perspective, because I help people on the back end and after they've been in the military and when they're suffering from PTSD. And I suffered myself from PTSD, and I lived in a war zone, and I worked in refugee camps. I heard shelling going off. I felt the trauma, seeing war wounds, wondering if today would be my last day. So I know what that does to the mind, body, energy body. I know the damage that does, and I know all the years worth of work that it takes to heal from that damage. So I don't think it should be a flippant decision that we just sign a bill. We need to take these people's lives into consideration, and if they make a choice to do that, and if they feel called to serve our country in that way, that's beautiful. And I have a lot of family that has served in the military, and I'm very thankful for them, and a lot of close friends, high up in the military even. But I just do think that that should be a choice, because anytime we're controlling a human being and making them do something, we're not honoring their ability to choose their life path. And as a healer, like anything in that path, I am not called to do. I can't even watch the news, and I don't think I should be forced to watch the news or forced to be in that role when it could really destroy me. And I think there's a lot of people that are more creative, more artistic, like we are, that are maybe more sensitive, and I think that should be honored, that we're all different, because it does, the healing work that comes on the back end is a tremendous amount of work to get people feeling good again afterwards.
I know about that. Tremendous amount of work for that. Yes.
So that's my humble perspective.
I totally agree. I want to say no. I don't even think it would matter. I think it's just going to tear the country apart more than it already is. Tearing the country apart more than it already is. And I was talking to him earlier, is that going to make people maybe more suicidal? Like, oh, you got to be in the army next week.
Yes.
You know, is that going to make people go?
I may
sudden life change.
I might think about it.
Back in the draft, people get a gun and shoot themselves in the foot so they wouldn't have to go, So
exactly.
That happens.
Yes,
it definitely does.
That's just my opinion.
Myself,
Yes.
I'm for it. I am. I did paramilitary style firefighter academy. I was, to put it nicely, a degenerate in high school. And so when I came out, I needed a little bit of discipline in my life. I didn't know how the world worked. Was kind of just a little spoiled brat and thought I could rule the world, thought I knew everything. But I think everybody needs a little bit of a reality check. I actually do think that you're right. If you've watched any other show, you know that I'm against every bit of government. I just want them gone. this much. It's all we need. But like, at the same point, I do think that the more we are involved in that government, the more we get to change it.
We the people.
Yes. So if you put us all in there at one point, who knows? You know, maybe we could do some good. But besides the point, I'm the host. I'm supposed to stay neutral. I know, right? I'd love to hear kind of a little bit more on the subject from one of y'all. Do y'all have something else to say?
I'm assuming that in the 2 years they wouldn't be deployed. It'd be like a boot camp kind of thing, and they'd be like being taught.
I would think that they're doing more behind the scenes work. That's
right.
Me. I mean, I wouldn't force somebody onto a battlefield.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would force somebody to a desk to learn something about life and organizations and all that kind of standards, right?
Like, say, if we do go into maybe, let's say, a war with somebody, maybe those people that have already been in the military for that long, they go out, and then we have the people who are being forced to enroll. They be on the back lines. I'm just coming out of ideas.
We still have the draft, right? Like, is that?
Oh yeah, it'd still be a thing.
Oh,
Draft
yeah,
wouldn't be
yeah.
touched by that.
We wouldn't be touched by that.
I want to thank everybody tuning in real quick. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Garrison, Graham. Oh, I'm not going to try to butcher that, but Paul Castillo, Sidney Johnson, Charity Gonzalez, Nate Beverly. I had that right. Sonny Good, and Bobby Beasley and Ben Ashwood. Thank you guys for tuning in. Amber Townsend, thank you. Alex Alvarez.
Trey, it is me.
And Lauren, thanks for coming and watching us hang out. And Trey, this is Tyler. Yes, that is Tyler. Sylvia and Anna, thank you for coming and joining us on our show today. And Robert Swindle, thank you for joining us. Wendy Weaver, hey, she said hello to me. Ben Ashwood, thanks for tuning in. And Wendy. What is this? Would you not be allowed to be in the service? Why? The beard? Oh, it's the tattoos. I'm not even allowed in the service anymore. I got an anarchy tattoo.
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys.
They don't like anarchy, them government people. I got it, But I also have a peace symbol, so it's not like all that. It's about balance. Wendy says, I was married many, many moons ago to an Army beepoo. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm quoting. It was fun at that time. I was 19 and he was 21. He, of course, had the time of his life, got to meet new people, had to go to different countries, weeks at a time. To me, it depends on the 18-year-old. Plus, I wouldn't want a teenager out there who is mentally retarded, probably the wrong word, but mentally handicapped, and or couldn't function properly. So testing physical and mental health before letting them into battle is, yes, I believe it's completely
100%.
I would say that the same standards would apply to the military coming out of high school. You would have to go through your test. You'd have got flat feet, whatever it would be. Their standards are still there, and they put you on a placement test just like they do now. I don't know if anyone's ever tried. I went to the Navy myself, and they have a placement test for you.
Right.
There's a whole list just to put you in that right spot. They want you to be able to work as best to your ability for them. For them. But I agree with you completely 100%. Everybody needs to have that. And I'm going to come back to you. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Lisa Lee, Amy Cummings. Everybody's tuning in right now. Jennifer Nichols. I love it. Getting bigger. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying? Did I lose you?
No, you were going off. We were talking about more of like the mental handicap, and of course, I also 100% agree with that. But that even almost wanted me to go to just how gun control is, as far as the aspect that there's so many people that.
Sorry, that's a hot topic for me. Go ahead.
So I'm just saying that so many people that. As victims and incidents as we've seen, those same kinds of people that say, or because there has also been incidents in the military where people were at maybe the time mentally sound, and something happens.
It takes one incident.
It just takes something to make somebody snap. It's hard to control that.
We're a bunch of little ones.
It's hard. Everyone has a breaking point.
Yes, they do. There's always that point. I completely agree with that stance, except for the fact that how are they not going to use them? I mean, it's already here.
Well, yeah.
So why not educate them?
That is a good idea. People should be educated on how to use weapons.
One 2 years mandatory, yo.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said that you are for it because you would like to see more involvement, that we could change things in the government
Right.
if we're inside. So do you think we can change those things as an 18 to 20-year-old, as the lowest
good
one on the
point.
totem pole, who's being bossed around and told what to do, and if they try to speak up, 200 push-ups? Like, is that how we make the changes?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Because actually, I had a thought of that.
Yeah.
What you said was wait, no, I'm not.
Everybody's going.
I'm
Was
the only one for it. I might be.
community.
Put some Kevlar on. or something.
It was community, which I think is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing about the military that I really like
Yeah,
is the
sure.
brotherhood, right?
Right.
Between soldiers, right? And then you're also right. Like if they do perform 2 years in military or boot camp or whatever, not being deployed, but still have that reserve of what do you call it?
Reality check.
I guess training and all this and that. They do get more involved, or I would assume get more involved in the government and want to know what's going on.
In the community,
What we can do.
Make some
like,
stronger
as
people
to, like-
together.
Yeah.
Stronger people
Yeah.
all together.
That
More
is a-
disciplined.
Yeah.
Is that what you're kind of
Exactly.
Just makes a
Yeah.
giant
They
militia,
would,
break everything
I
off.
think, be more attracted to the idea of trying to change politics, after military service.
Or
trying
they'd
to-
have it beaten out of them, their
Mm.
spirit beaten out of them.
Uh,
Well, listen, and I say that
I've been
from the
beat down,
perspective of
but look where you
it's
are
not
now.
really an environment where free thought is encouraged.
Which is the
Like,
opposite.
I have been brought up with lovely, wonderful military people on all sides of my family. I know how to make a bed where the corners, you can bounce
Structured.
a quarter off of them. Discipline is something that I was totally taught. Like, I'm really good at that. But if I had a different opinion in the matter, it's not like, oh, let's empower her and let's hear her views might be better. Let's maybe go this route. And I don't think that's an environment where you're going to have free new ideas about how to.
That's because the only
Run
people
things.
going into it are the people that don't have those free views yet, right?
And
Because they.
Sorry.
Go ahead, please. I'm not supposed to be talking.
Well, if we're talking about high school graduates, how much of that free thought do they really have? They're just getting out into the real world themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't had a chance to really, besides what they've seen on TV and what their parents have instilled in them already,
Right.
they're really to form their own opinions
Right.
and really get out there
Said
and
that.
say something in the workforce,
Already did.
working, I don't know, freaking at a car shop, doing auto work, doing their own thing, really being themselves before being maybe forced to be in the military and then more instillment instead of more free. I kind of agree with you on that point.
Yes. Thank you.
I think it's because people aren't really joining the military because people are kind of like the younger generation are kind of like with video games. It's just
Lackadaisical.
whatever. Everything's like they're just like I don't need to do that.
Well, I think
instant
something to add to
gratification.
that is that obviously we have a lot of politicians that we don't
Like,
want to
yeah.
go for. It's like I don't want to go and fight for Trump. I don't want to go and fight for somebody like Roy Moore.
You're
or
not
something
fighting
like
for
that.
Trump, though. You're
Fighting
fighting for
for
me.
About me now.
You're pretty likable.
Oh, well, I'm just like...
Chris Minamyer,
is-
2020.
Not for me, but for us. For the
Yes,
rest of us.
yes.
It's not like... I'm not saying
But it's
that
like
I'm-
it's like if somebody like Trump were to execute some kind of military plan, where it's
very
like
possible.
it's like 80% of Americans don't agree with it, and then you have somebody say, God forbid, somebody says well, my kid just died out there
Yeah.
for
And
Trump. It's
that's
something
why-
I really
that's
didn't
why
believe
I
in.
want-
He didn't believe in.
That's why I
and
want
he
us all
died
in
out
there, so that we can go, hell no. I want all the free-thinking people in there.
Yeah,
Mm.
but then that kind of brings
I
back to the
don't
point that
think-
they're saying.
It's almost
I
at
don't
a
think
militia,
anybody is allowed to have
almost,
free thought if they've got someone
that point.
higher in rank telling them what to do.
I think that if you're forced in, they can...
So are
I'm
you
not trying to be rude, but if
suggesting,
you're forced into it and you go do it, and you're sitting there going, I don't even like this, but I'm going to get through it, and then you meet 20 other people in the room that are like you.
Okay, well then you're okay. Wait. You're saying people that don't want to do it, and
Right.
then they meet up with more people that don't want to do it
Because they're all
right?
in there now.
Okay, So that's
Sounds like
kind of
prison.
like. That's,
Right. Well,
that's a little.
I'm sorry, but that's a reality check.
Yeah, totally.
Like, we live in a society of instant gratification. You could go and down at the corner store and get you anything you want, and
Yeah,
I mean you can
get
get
a video,
online and
you can watch a
bam,
video
everything you
anytime,
want, and
play a game anytime.
so it's a reality check. That's what I think. Because our nation is never more divided, or just more divided than ever right now. Do you think that everyone who served is a stronger sense of national unity? And that's kind of where I'm leading towards with this. Is I know you know what's right. You served the same amount of time I served. I know you know it's right because we all served the same thing. Like we were all set. Look, this is the law. This is how it goes. If you come at me and try to take something from me, I know you don't. I know you know better, right? Because there's people. I've seen people that don't know any better to take something from you. If you can't hold on to it, to them, it's theirs because they can. It's just another way of thought process. People are brought up in different environments.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's kind of where it's
and
a
I
sense of
kinda
community.
think that it is a sense of community down here, but if a group of people is rising up against authority, that group of people is they're not going to be able to be in there anymore, and then what good can they do? And
At least they're trained to use a weapon now.
Oh, great.
When they come for us, like,
Suggesting
these
something.
guys, like,
almost a coup.
yes,
That'd
he's
be almost a
suggesting
military
coup.
coup. right there.
got
For
the
the
anarchy
future.
tattoo. No, I just think that, I mean, if these people, these creatives that never want to touch a gun,
Yes.
you never give them a gun, they never seen a gun, and then all of a sudden, everybody that's seen a gun's got one ready to go at you.
Yes.
So,
South Texas.
South Texas. Well, I'm from California. I'm
Yes.
outnumbered out here. I carry a
Right.
gun now. I mean, I learned how to use a weapon. To me, I would rather not like it but know how to use it versus not know how to use it and watch them come at me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Actually,
And
I
from
think
a-
everybody should be trained
From a healing
From a
perspective.
healing
Yes, bring it on!
So I'm coming from this as like the decisions that you would want to make are made out of a sense of a fear, and I'm like helping my clients heal from fear. I call it the unholy trinity of fear, guilt, and shame. And so those are things that we're like removing from their energy body. And if they go into a situation where they're a sensitive artist who really just wants to weave baskets and like sit on a beach somewhere with a hat,
You can pack mortar shells.
so I,
I'm just
I'll
being
be
the opposite
front.
there. Like, you don't gotta
that's-
fire them.
that's totally fine. But I'm like, my perspective is that we could be breaking people that if we were empowering them, they could make big changes rather than breaking their spirit. Because I deal with them
I severely disagree with you, but I love that you think that the military breaks your spirit because I feel like it makes me stronger.
I feel like you're.
I guess I see the people that it breaks.
You see people
Yes,
it breaks,
I
and
see.
I've seen the
I
people
see
that have
the
come out of
people,
it
Yes.
with and got
Yes.
careers and jobs out of it,
Right.
and they got training and they
Yes.
developed a whole skill set out
Yes.
of going into the military, and maybe they didn't kill anybody, like,
right.
but
right.
we're not asking people, we're not mandating them go to the Marines. We're not
Right.
mandating them on the front lines. That's
Right.
what I'm saying is we're mandating them go to the Fort Bragg or wherever fort in whatever country
Right.
and go do some paperwork and see what it's like to have structure and just do
Sure.
some push-ups. Yeah, that's a
Yes.
good thing. We're already obese as America.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
But I
That's
think
another
that
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
coming
mean-
on with me.
I think so too. Also, maybe if you just give everyone, instead of building a $50 billion bomb, just give everyone like tickets to live in Europe for a month.
Yeah,
That was
get
21.
cultured.
Yeah, I was
That's what I
21.
think that'll
Yes,
do for
yes.
them.
I was in EPA. I was in Guam for a year. I'm like, man, my whole world just changed. Yeah, let's just
That's
give people
true.
tickets to go to Europe and study French.
I think
I'm
that's
cool with that.
become more
Yeah,
cultured. And I think
I
that
would be cool
getting
with
people
that.
out of their neighborhoods
Yeah.
is
I'll
a
totally
good
get
thing.
involved, yeah.
It's a really good thing to get somebody who's never left their neighborhood, who's been to the same schools, who's been with the same people,
Right.
have never seen anything outside of that bubble,
That's true.
which is those 18 to 20-year-olds.
Which is 18, 20-year-olds who come in and then they become gang members, and because that's the gang.
Right.
And so give them a year, teach them how to use the weapon. You don't hold it sideways. You know,
Right.
stuff like that. You know, and teach them what it's like to take life or not take life, or have that power at least to be behind it, looking at a scope or at a target and saying you killed somebody, but you shot the target, obviously. But the power's there. I mean, if you ever shoot a gun, you know, boom, ah, whoa. You know, the first time I shot one, I never shot again for like years because it scared the crap out of me. But without that knowledge, I would have always been scared of them. I would have always thought, oh golly, it's a gun. And then I would have never been able to defend myself because I would never have used one. I've never put one on my hip. I would have never put one in my car. And then I have been in situations where there was a gun.
Right.
And I'm glad I knew how to pull one out.
Right.
You know, really glad I knew how to pull one out and aim down the scope. And I mean, if I'm doing kind of a knife, whatever, it could be anything. But go back to you guys. I'm the host.
No,
I got something to say. So,
Sure.
Do you think that once you serve, you have a higher level of governmental participation once they get out? I would say so.
It'd be a nice incentive, yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
definitely.
If you're gonna do it.
Yeah, well, now you see how messed up it is.
Anarchy.
Yeah, it sucks. Go check it out.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what sucks more. Some of them actually be coming out of a slum and seeing an environment of structure and discipline and people succeeding in life and saying, oh my gosh, well, this does something for people, versus seeing, you know, people getting shot and getting away with it and murders and drugs that make
That's
you
a good
money.
point.
And, you know, so I see both sides of it because I don't want to go to the military ever. I don't like government, right? I don't like the way they use our military. I love people in the military.
Oh, I do too.
Don't get me wrong. I love y'all, every one of you. You did it for me and us, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
But on the other side, we all have issues with what the government does with y'all.
Right.
So the more of us in there, I feel like the more we have a little bit more control, right? Like, so...
Don't brainwash yourself. But then in the military targets, you know, small towns. I'm from a small town, you know. Be all you can be. Join the Navy, see the world, and you get stationed out in Fort Hood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Well, you go to Dallas,
You go to
Tennessee.
Dallas. Yeah, right.
It's not a big change.
They
Right.
target it, yeah. Totally.
Oh man. Sorry, I'm having these other
having
thoughts
thoughts?
of like previous stuff we said, and it's like,
Please bring them up.
well, from a healing perspective.
Yes.
I don't have mine.
Cheers to that.
I was just thinking on the aspect of, let's say, because somebody mentioned a comment that it depends on the person, which I do agree with that, because there's some people that are not as strong-willed or strong, just like normally I'm not a confrontational person,
Right.
ever. Like
We need
this,
you as a liaison. I'm saying. Yeah.
I like to be
people like
that person that's like,
Mhm.
I'll listen to your side, I'll listen to your side.
Perfect.
And I'll try to compromise. Like, it's sort of like, you can only be half happy.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You
You get a little bit, you give a
but-
little bit.
But the whole point I was talking to is, there are those people that aren't as strong-willed and say, let's talk about suicide rate.
Yes.
There's people who say, there's people that you went to the military and you got stronger out of it. There's other people that say...
Paramilitary. Can't claim it, but yes. Firefighter.
Sorry, my
It's
bad.
okay.
Let's say people who did go into it that weren't as strong-willed, they've started to get PTSD, and let's say that's...
Full Metal Jacket.
I got it. Yeah, I
Yes,
understand.
the worst possible happens.
Yes.
They
Yeah, Full Metal
take
Jacket.
their own life.
Yes.
How many people... Well, I'm trying to word it the right way. Is it okay to sacrifice those fewer people, because most people, I would say, are more strong-willed, just out of habitually. Is it okay to sacrifice a smaller amount for a bigger amount?
I say it's never okay.
It's never okay.
In my opinion.
But I think you would actually be saving more than you would be.
You would potentially, but is that?
Yeah, I totally love where you're coming from, and my background. I used to work. I was heavily involved with NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. I was trained to take suicide calls. So I not only have experienced it, I've felt it. I've been on the phone where a lady was cutting her arm.
I've seen it.
I
was a guy wrapping her wrist after that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure you've seen a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's horrible. And I think anytime we're saying this is what you have to do, and you have to train, even if they don't have to be violent, to train to be violent. For me, as more of a sensitive person who feels everyone's emotions, my husband took me to a self-defense class in San Diego, where I had to fight men off while they threw me down on a mat every day at the end of the day. And they made me watch videos where people, violent videos, and I don't even watch the news. And so every day at the end of the day, I was crying, and it was really, really tough on me. And to force people into that are not cut out for that. We all came here for a different reason, and to force someone into doing something for the good of the whole sounds, I don't like that.
So we're about to get ready for some music. So as we prepare for that, what do you guys think online? What are you guys thinking? Do you think that mandatory military service for 18 to 25-year-olds is a good or a bad idea? I appreciate your feedback, and I'd love to read it right when we get back from some music. We're going to do a shuffle. It's a good shuffle, so we're all going to kind of bear with us for a second. We got a keyboard to put into place. We got wine to move. We got a bunch of stuff.
Careful the wine.
Yeah.
That one's for you.
Oh, this is for me.
You win.
I'll keep it next to my heart. There you go.
Perfect.
That's what it's for, the heart.
Is it a rose quartz?
Yes, it is.
I have one on my rearview mirror.
Awesome. I brought them for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Gifts for everybody.
That's my
y'all in for a treat. Yeah, I've
favorite.
heard them warming up. Yeah.
This is my favorite sound. Just the keys.
That's the key.
Oh, yeah,
no
that's
actual music. So
Wonderful.
you guys are in for a real treat.
And then I'll just
We're not
mouth
going to turn it on.
everything, too. Just imagine.
We live yet? We got some power coming?
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Oh.
Alright, setting some technical stuff up. These guys bearing with us.
Ooh.
Blake Cook, terrible idea. Bad idea, Matt Chambers. Up there, gotta be talking about me. Blake says, yeah. Go ahead.
Sweet.
You ready?
Sure. I mean, whenever y'all are ready.
You're ready.
All right. Sunday morning, rain is falling. Steal some cover, share some skin. Clouds are shrouding us in moments unforgettable. You twist to fit the moment I am in. But things just get so crazy. Living life gets hard to do. Gladly hit the road, get up and go if I knew that someday it would lead me back to you. That someday it would lead me back to you. That may be all I need. Darkness, she is all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Driving slow on Sunday morning, and I don't ever want to leave. Fingers trace her every outline. Oh yeah. Paint a picture with my hands. Oh, oh. Back and forth we swing like branches in a storm. Change the weather, still together when it ends. That may may be all I need. Darkness, she is all I see. Come and rest your bones with me. Driving slow on Sunday morning, I don't ever want to leave.
Thank you.
No,
Awesome.
my pleasure. It's my
Thanks
pleasure.
for coming out. Where would we find your music?
Oh god, that's a good question. You can find some of my music. I post videos every now and then of me playing on my Instagram. That handle is Harris, HARRIS, plus the number 1.
All right.
I plan on eventually putting more stuff out there as I start writing more stuff. And sure.
Yeah.
And also, I'm currently here on behalf of Altered State Productions. They're a lovely group.
Altered State.
Altered State.
Yeah.
I mean, it's where it's at. We're working on creating, putting a band together, doing a production label, and a whole bunch of other stuff with just about whatever kind of form of art you can think of. Go ahead and check them out. Altered State Productions on Facebook as well.
And we can also find this song, just the song, in high def on YouTube, uploaded after the show, maybe tomorrow sometime. Yeah, give us a little slack, and but it'll be online. Make sure you check that out. We got one girl got 10,000 views on her song. 12,000 now.
Wow.
Wow. We are growing every day. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna kind of do the shuffle back, but when we get that done, we're gonna go into more of the art here behind us and talk about more of our artists here, and then we're gonna get back into discussion. Thanks for tuning in, for bearing with us during the changes here.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we go back
Shuffle,
this way.
shuffle.
We're gonna find my wine.
Let's not hit the
That's
wine.
very
Be careful
important.
of the
Right?
wine. The wine's the most important part,
You
right?
don't want to lose that.
No.
That's the only reason why we're civil.
Healing process.
You say,
It's
that's
probably super warm now.
That's what I said.
Mine's
That's
only work is
That's the only reason why we're civil right now. No.
So who
right.
got a stone? You got a stone?
He
I got a stone.
Okay. You want
You got
pick
stones?
Yes.
It's
right here.
Pick a stone. It's a rose quartz. It's for heart healing.
Oh, so it's literally
Yes.
good. I
You
did
were
a good
right.
guess.
Pick one.
Should have put a shirt with a pocket on. You'd have been closer.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
You got one here?
I got one
here. There you go.
I got one right here. I
Yeah.
got one on the inside too.
Oh yeah.
Look
Oh, I
close.
see what you're getting at. Okay.
They're like
Thank you.
vitamins for your energy body.
Oh yeah, you told me. Like I still haven't gone to the store now. I went to one and I was overwhelmed. I'm not gonna lie. I was
Yes.
overwhelmed. I went to the healing
It's
store.
a high vibe.
And
when you go
I was
there.
like, oh my gosh, look at all this cool stuff. And then I had like $400 worth of rocks, and I didn't know how to do it.
I'll go with you. You want to go?
That was pretty great. I was like, I don't know what to do with all this, but I think I need them all. Just
Can't even walk out of the store.
Oh man, let's talk about your art real quick, Drew, and talk about what's your inspiration behind it. What drives you to do the comic type of art or whatever, man. Just kind of
Well,
your moment to shine here for a second.
All right. Well, I'm heavily inspired by obviously cartoons. I watch a lot of Steven Universe. Is that good?
Yeah, you're leaving it on the frame.
Am I alright now?
Yeah, you're way
Okay.
on the frame. You're good.
Oh, okay. I'm like, just kidding.
Technical difficulties.
You're two in the
Bear with us. Now you're
But
two.
yeah, I'm heavily inspired by things like Steven Universe and Rick and Morty and.
Oh, it's one of my favorite
Simpsons
shows.
and
I've
stuff.
seen
Morty?
every episode several times.
I haven't seen season 3 yet.
But yeah, like I do plan. I've been taking some classes here and there, and I plan on taking a lot more. But I guess the goal is to eventually work for a cartoon studio, and then I want to make my own cartoon. I do a lot of writing, and I make a lot of comic strips, and I make a lot of animated reviews on movies and stuff like that. So if you want to like watch any of that, you can find me at Slap Happy Drew on YouTube, Facebook. You can find me on my streaming channel on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter.
I'm sure you do a cartoon commercial now and again, huh?
Yeah, I do like animated reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the best place to follow me is Twitter.
Awesome.
That's
Twitter.
the best
Find him on
place to follow
Twitter.
me. Slap Happy Drew.
Slap Happy Drew. I love that name. That's
And
awesome.
see, that would make me so sad if you had to take not only 2 years out of your life, but
she's
after
cutting
that,
Oh, no.
you're carrying around such deep pains after that you're like taken away from your passion.
But what if? What? But what if? What if? what if that like
Was a catalyst.
dramatized
It could
his
be,
art
yeah.
and made it something completely something different?
Yes.
That
it
could have
would've.
been better. Could have
It
been
would've.
worse.
Could heal through
There's
his
no
art.
doubt in my
Absolutely.
mind that it would have
It's kind of
changed
funny
him
to say that actually
completely.
because like
That's the
I did
point.
a lot of construction work. This being Houston, we have a lot of power plants. And stuff like that. Right after high school, I went into working with the power plants, and I did that for like 4 years. Right,
Yeah.
a lot of different construction work. I was a scaffold builder, electrician. I
Did
was
all the
a
safety
pipe
work.
fitter and laborer and all this and that. And yeah, it's monotony, right?
Yeah.
And
God, just don't go.
there's
down
just a
38.
lot of safety.
Yes.
I made a lot
I'm a
of
safety
money.
guy.
I made so much money that I couldn't get financial aid, and because I was a kid, I was just blowing
That
it
happened
all
to me
like
too.
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so like I didn't have a way of going into college anymore, right? And so I had to wait. They were like, you have to wait, and so I was like, well, what do I do now?
Join the military. I'm just kidding.
Through the whole time that I was working there, I hated every single day working in the plants. But I always kept drawing. I had a little notebook, and I had like 6 of them.
That's
I
so
kept
good.
drawing, and then even on my gloves, I would have these drawings on all my gloves, and people had me drawing on their gloves and stuff like that. You know, it was just like, I feel like if somebody really wants to express themselves, they will express themselves, like, no matter the
Yes.
that kind of
The
situation.
source will get you, man. The source.
Yes.
It'll take you through it. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Do you want to go through your art?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just wanted to.
You
add
already
on
did
that
yours.
for
I'm
that
just
second.
kidding.
Nah.
Go ahead, add something.
No, we were talking about how, let's say, let's take 2 tickets and take him to Europe or Guam or whatever. What if, let's say, let's talk about specifically his perspective.
Yes.
He's going out and seeing the world, and he has that kind of desire to go draw and do all these things.
That's
and
true.
seeing all these things,
That's true.
that would be, that doesn't sound half
If it
bad.
was his choice.
If it was his choice.
Yeah.
Rachel Anderson
From a
says
healing
it's human.
perspective.
It's human to be. It's human nature is violent. Says human nature is violent. That is why every nation has some type of military to protect weaker of the nation. Hey, yeah, but see, this is what I read, and I did a little reading beforehand, and we're gonna get to yours, Art, real quick.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
And yours, Rhonda. But our military service rates are down. The men, it was down like 30%, and our population's up, and our numbers are down, and the women. I said it wasn't a women's, but it was a total, is what they said, and it was less. So I guess women are rising and men are falling, but I don't know that. I mean, it both declined. The total. I mean, the men outmarried the women in the service, and so their decline brought the whole total down as well. But to say that, who's going to protect us? They're not coming anymore. They're not coming. We're running out of country boys that want to fight for us.
We'll always have country boys that want to fight for us.
Yeah, but not very
That's a
many.
country song.
You know what I mean? Because cities are taking over. We're becoming liberals and Democrats, and socialists. But I'm sorry. Well, we're gonna go on to your art real quick.
Okay.
Let's talk about your art.
So those were 3 of the first pieces that I did on my healing journey, and I just felt like I needed to have an outlet. And,
That's what it was for me too, to heal.
Yes.
Mhm.
I think a lot of artists use it as a way to get emotions out that are kind of stuck inside.
That's why mine are so crazy on my art.
Well, you wouldn't let me bring my other ones.
Yeah, we have PG-17.
Yeah. Well, I do have some that are of the human form without clothes on, and I think that's a powerful way to heal, body shaming issues and things like that.
Yeah, very much so.
For everyone, and to make the human form a piece of art, which is really what it is, and celebrate that. And so, so I guess there's more emotion in the other paintings, but these are some of my first ones.
I really enjoy it.
I have a question.
Thank you.
What inspired these 3 pieces? Did you have just different hairstyles at the time?
No, and
kidding.
actually, I think this one kind of looks like my sister. I didn't intend for that, but I was really just practicing with faces, and so I didn't necessarily have anyone in mind, but this one did
Kill
turn
me
out
at
to
faces.
look like
Mine looked like Picasso.
Oh.
Missing ears.
Oh, that's awesome. That's art. It's not supposed to be perfect. Yes.
I try not to put my face.
But don't you feel like that helps you feel like for me, I've had perfectionist issues that I've had to deal with, and when you like get in front, when you realize, oh, this is art, it doesn't have to look like anything.
When I came out of high school, it was not very structured.
Yeah.
It was actually complete opposite. I was leaning towards gang member life. I was leaning towards big to everybody, and I thought I knew it all, and then I had some structure put into my life. I actually got in a car wreck, which decided that I couldn't hang out at all with anybody.
So the military was actually healing for you.
Yeah, well, it's paramilitary. I put it like that. Yeah, I can't say military. I can't claim that. I can't claim that. You're right. But actually, the school and the training was a year, and that's about what I feel would happen with them. Is they would go through a year or two. Deployment would probably not be an option for those people because they're not there to fight.
Right.
Like, I think that we understand that if you're not there to fight, we're not going to put you in a fight.
Right.
Because you're going to run, and then you're going to die, and you're worth nothing to us anyway at that point.
Screw us all up.
Yeah. So, like, there are people that want to fight, and that's what we put in those roles. But to me, it put me into, hey, I know what my fight or flight means.
So not necessarily be trained for fighting.
No, but to understand,
why they do
that
what they
feeling.
do.
Right. That's that. Oh, okay. If I feel that way and I want to fight, this is what I gotta do. And do I feel comfortable with this? Like, maybe not. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable shooting.
It's
somebody,
really cool to hear your perspective because, like, you needed the structure. I grew up in such a regimented, like,
I grew up in a very free environment. I mean, I had structure. I had to have soccer practice and all that kind of stuff. But it was my off time was my off time. You know, I went and skateboarded and I did other things that I enjoyed, and I had I still had to do chores and all that kind of crazy stuff. But to me, it was more about a worldly view. How's the world gonna treat me when I say no and I give you the big old finger and I say absolutely no, I'm not going to do that? How's the world going to come back at me like that? And you won't realize that until you do it.
Yeah.
At least that's the way I was. Some people kind of go, okay, maybe I won't do that. It looks a little scary. Yes. But I was all about it. And it did not work out. And it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. And I say we let them do it in the military. Let them do it while they're being watched by people who know what to do.
Yes, I get where you're coming from.
And for you, Section 2, it's kind of like, we need to be where you need to be. So getting that car wreck, you couldn't hang out with your friends anymore. So
that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
All my gang member friends were like, "You can't come gangbang with me now." Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like we're out here fighting. What are you doing? You sitting at home? I'm like, well, I'm dying, but besides that, but I'm sorry. Let's go to your art and let's talk about your art and where we can find you and all that stuff.
So this one here is Liberty and Less Americano, about a spirit that I've had for a long, long time. I know, right? And I finally got to go into the Fort Davis and see how she got started. And then here is a new series I'm doing called Awakening of the Wells, which is about, because I also lived in Japan for about 20 years, so I do a lot of legging and stuff like that. So it's like, everything's just purging, so a lot of purging, awakening of the wells, which is awakening my own sense of like, okay, focus.
I love it.
In my way.
I want to know a little bit more about your monthly show.
Right, it's I do them once a month on a Saturday from 3 to 8. I have a one bedroom apartment that I turn into a gallery, and it's just natural lighting coming in from 3 to 8, so I have the light coming in. And we have a really good turnout. People actually sales and
right across from the Manila, right?
It's on Coquit, 1755 Coquit. So I call it room 1755. But walking distance like 2 blocks. But it's awesome. A lot of really cool people come out.
Turnout from the Manila crowd a little bit. You put a sign out.
Can I bring my naked art?
I told you.
I wanted to tell her yes, but I was afraid of what the Joe man would say. Maybe next time, all right? We gotta see it for sure. Anything where we can find you at Ray Dunlap on Facebook?
Ray Dunlap on Facebook and on Instagram, Dunlapian.
Dunlapian.
Yeah.
All right, great. And you guys know me, Chris Minamyer, Text Music and Art. Find me and the Whine Show. The original edition is tomorrow. Our artist edition is on Thursdays, and we have a open mic art show, $10 for the art show, every Tuesday at Avant Garden downtown. But we're gonna get back into our discussion and talk about military service. 2 years mandatory. I mean, I kind of was leaning towards 1 because when I was first introduced to this idea, it was 1 year, and I was all for 1 year because you can't do anything in 1 year. I mean,
Right.
you can learn something in a year,
Right.
but you can't do anything with it. I mean, you can try, but I don't think. What I think is kind of irrelevant in this, but I feel like if you don't have a structured environment, like if you came from a structured environment and you don't want to be in the structured environment, well, you can do another year or two. If you didn't come from the structured environment and you've never had the structured environment, maybe you could use a year or two.
And they may like it and make a career out of it and try it 40 years old.
And he had said earlier on our I have a big teleprompter, but it had said earlier like does it give us a sense of community? Does it give us the ability to see more than what we already see? And I feel like I feel like you're gonna go culture a bunch of people. You're gonna go put them in situations they don't want to be in, and they're not gonna be able to react the way they want to, which is okay because you shouldn't be able to react the way you want to if the way you react is out of line.
Right.
I mean, if it's to hurt people, well, other people will hurt you back, and that's a good way to learn that. You go to the military, surely I learned that the hard way. I hit the kid in high school. The kid hit back harder than I hit him. That. Without that knowledge, there would be no more hitting from Chris. I'm a little guy. I don't hit big dudes anymore. But without the knowledge, without getting that, I learned from experience. I learned from hands-on. So other people can learn. They're different, and I understand that. And I think that we see that in the way we recruit, and I think that we put those people in the position to do us good.
And I think as being Americans, we're raised like, we're freedom. We do what we want to do.
But it's going away from that.
You ain't going to tell me what to do. Yeah.
It's going away from that. So the last question is if everybody has to serve all colors, all wealth groups, men and women, would it promote more ideas of equality in our society after service?
I would say yes.
I would agree.
Totally.
Especially, let's say, because we don't know what's going to happen in 2 years.
They could be black, female, and I could be, look, we served. You
We
served, I
served.
served. I think
hey, I was
common.
in the platoon that was right next to your platoon.
I just think it unifies us. It does. I mean, it's like putting us all in the same team.
At that point, it's like you don't see color anymore. You see a comrade.
Right.
I
Comrades,
get that.
not the word I'd use.
Comrade.
But I see where you're going with that.
Do not worry, professional.
3. Oh no!
One shot of vodka.
I thought this was wine.
Welcome to the vodka, no whining show because we shoot you.
From a healing perspective.
Yes, I want to hear it. I was waiting for it. What do you think about it? Do you think that it's going to give us unity, or do you think that it might tear us apart? I think.
Well, in the beginning, people are going to rebel against us because we're a rebellious nation. We all know that. And but also, I think after a few years, we're like getting used to it. I think that would help. Unify people a little more.
I think it would.
So would we have a choice? Like if I wanted to get in and I didn't want to touch a gun, would I have a choice in that?
No, you have to learn how to use a gun.
Well, I already know how to use a gun, but I mean, that's definitely part of it's like regular. It's training for
that's
everyone,
basic training. Everybody gets basic training.
But like other countries that do it, like Taiwan, Korea. I mean, how does that affect their nation?
Israel. A bunch of countries do it. Yeah.
That's a big subject there.
I think that you have to. I mean, basic training is basic training. I think it's 3 months long, depending on your branch.
Mm-hmm.
But you go through that basic knowledge, how to take your gun apart, how to use your gun, how to look down a sight, how to hold a gun, how to clean a gun, how to store a gun, how to store bullets, how to be
like a pioneer.
A pioneer. How to survive in our world, which is our world is guns. I mean, Texas. I'm just saying Texas.
Right.
You go different states are different, but
here
in Texas, we can carry a sword openly.
It's
legal. Yeah, it's a legal thing.
You can carry a full-on sword out in public.
I mean,
I
can run really fast. I did like 15 years of soccer, and you better be quick to draw that gun if I got a samurai sword, because I'm coming at you. I'm just saying, like people are crazy, nuts, and we have to have some type of way to.
Is this one way of reeling us back in?
I think it is. I think it really does reel you back in.
But they're already numbed us down with all the medication and putting on people,
Oh,
the
no.
real war.
That's the rule.
That's the
the
real
show.
war.
From a
Yeah.
healing
Next
perspective.
show.
I take like Valerian, but I don't think
Is
you
that time?
Take Valerian.
Yeah, all right, yeah, that
I
is
was
time,
on-
America.
I was on them for
Thank you for
12
tuning
years.
in to the Whine Show. This is our guest, and I'm actually gonna have Tyler play us out, if that's okay. Yeah, yeah, all right, cool. I just forgot to tell you that. Yeah, Tyler's gonna play us out,
Alright.
and we're gonna kind of move in
do
and
a
out
quick
at
shuffle,
the same
quick
time,
shuffle.
and let him do his thing. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week, same time.
Should we get out of here
Thursday.
first?
Oh, shuffle. Oh, I'm sorry.
Thursday, Whine Show Artist Edition. Friday, the Whine Show Original Edition. And make sure you like and message our page to get updates. Awesome.
Hey, peace and love, right?
Peace and love, unity,
Yeah, oneness.
oneness.
Cheers to oneness.
Oh, cheers, oneness. That's right.
Stop.
Hey man, I can listen to it all day. We're not paying you, are we? Alright, thank you for tuning in again, guys. The Whine Show, Artist Edition. Tune in next week. I spit a little bit. Bye bye.
You're very full of